The Enlightenment Chasers. Royalties of Peace. We are stealing the storms back to peace that has no storm while holding on to perfect peace. This is the Golden Age Podcast, episode 65, by Mavis Free Lefan, October 8th of 2025. It is a Wednesday, and we are on a journey to electing the president of Cameroon, which will be on October 12th of 2025. October is the indigenous month in the United States of America that reminds us of our ancestors and not forgotten even while we are on the journey to enlightenment. The Western world are testifying they are not in this continent to replace it, but to mark the completion of the works of our ancestors. While we are honoring this month of the indigenous people of the United States of America, I happen to be a Cameroonian, also on the journey of enlightenment, realizing where we are falling short after being under the reign of His Excellency President Paul Biya, born under the reign of His Excellency President Paul Biya, known to have come to power on November 6th of 1982, and many expecting that he would have at least handed power over in 92. But he has kept reign. He has kept the reign for 42 years, complete 42 years, about to be 43 years in power. Has been like a shock to the whole world, especially to the youths of Cameroon, understanding politics according to how it is being taught in school. Must remind us we cannot forget our ancestors of origin, the traditionals, the chiefdom, maintaining before the Western world came in, had a purpose. The Western world did not come in to replace the traditional, but to show the need for comfort while on this journey. Even while embracing the comfort, we cannot forget to come to reasoning with our ancestors that our journey is rather going to the mist where they repose and not trying to keep the physical state we are experiencing, especially with all the battlefields we are experiencing. We should be able to realize that this is not meant for us. Yet we should not deprive ourselves from the comforts that will help us have traveling mercies back to the mist where our ancestors repose. O Cameroon, the cradle of our father, the holy shrine in our midst now repose. The cradle of our father is in the midst where they repose. In our midst, the without is not home and restless. The reason for His Excellency President Paul Biya still in power is not his desire. It's by the policy of our ancestors and not the Western world. Even in America today, there is a distinction between the indigenous people and the Western world, yearning for enlightenment. And our call for the AI world is like the Western world in both continents of Africa and America. Asia is Africa. We have only two continents, what we call the America and what we call Africa. The east to the west, divided by the ocean that drifted them apart, but did not divide who we are. The mist of perfect peace within. We are demanding for the AI world and at the same time complaining about His Excellency President Paul Biya not being present. Him being only seen on pictures and not being felt by the people because of our misunderstanding of our purpose. Brings to mind what it feels like when a child is never fulfilling his father's expectation. There's always a rivalry between them and always apart. When the father is coming in, the children are rushing into their rooms. And when the father steps out, the children run in to have fun. I have lived in Africa to experience what it is like to live in our homes. Respecting father has never been an easy. You must be right to be able to sit next to father. Might seem complicated because it is political expressing, but we know what it is like of our roots to be equal with father of peace. The more we stay away from father, we begin to lose the love of expected. We have more battles than the inner mist we must return to. These battles because of women increasing in number by multiplying. It's like stubbornness of our returning to the inner mist where we belong in perfect peace. Until we have all come to one accord, can this happen? But how will it happen if we do not educate the young today while aiming for AI world? The same time, Cameroon is so significant. It happens that the Jewish left Egypt against God's will because of their increasing in number. That was their division and the reason for the slavery. Cameroon today, a one people, yet slave unto self. Emancipate yourself from mental slavery is the call. Looking at this eighth term of power of His Excellency President Paul Biya, or a new president, still marks the journey of this present generation under his reign to reach enlightenment that will fulfill the younger generation of expected. The children that will be of working class after now should be able to comprehend our purpose. It's not about multiplying in numbers, but in knowledge. The AI world is calling on us to receive the comfort, go in the right direction, and not against our ancestors. Our gods have not failed us. The Feast of Tabernacle, the Feast of Sukkot of the Jewish nation, is a 7-day feast, just like the presidency of Cameroon is for 7 years. And the Feast of Tabernacle of 2025 of the Jewish celebration ends on October 12th of 2025, marking the 7th day when the election, the votes will be of the Cameroon election. Heading into the 8th day, that marks the completion of Torah reading and the beginning of a new cycle of Torah reading. What a coincidence, we may say. But the ancestors are speaking. The world is one. The God is one. The power is one. Perfect peace is one. No matter who your God is, they are all from the midst of perfect peace. We must all repose in. I hope this podcast gives us enlightenment towards our voting. And renewing of the mind for the youths to become effective of our journey. We cannot blame His Excellency President Paul Biya, neither France, of either being a hidden power behind Cameroon's presidency today, but we the people, not understanding our purpose of enlightenment. Being black race does not deprive us from being of white mind. The white race are yearning for the white mind. So are the black race. We are not trying to be a white race, but a white mind. Let us not let politics dissolve us from our expected divinity of within. The holy shrine in our midst speaks, still speaks today, especially to the women, to come to one accord with the men of our returning to the inner midst. For our experiences out here is enough for us to comprehend and return. This outlook is not meant for us, but yet we must return gracefully, honoring our journey and fulfilling our purpose of humanity. The white mind, the inner mist we must return to. Thank you for listening. Peace steals the storm, back to peace that has no storm, holding on to perfect peace. You need not go to the ocean to know what water is like when a drop is sufficient. We need not war of the physical, but the battlefield of the mind, yearning for peace. We are intellectuals before the physical experience. Let's not let our artificial existence deprive us from the peace we are of within. Women are called to reach enlightenment of the men, not reproducing, but on the journey with peace of the mind and luxury, celibacy and luxury, back to the inner mist is the cry of our ancestors. Womb, blood, and sweat, the soil they watered, testified it was not good. Peace should be our traveling mercy and not blood and sweat. Let us reconcile with His Excellency President Paul Biya. We were only pondering of the mind, now must reach completion. Yearning for new rain is not a crime, but must be of sound mind. Attending. The next president should be of expected, so that the sweat of His Excellency President Paul Biya should not be in vain. Carry the bruises of the women. Multiply instead of the mind. Thank you. All respect to the men all over the world.